What if the kid never left Seattle? What if Ken Griffey Jr., baseball's perfect swing, its effortless smile, and its hope for a small market dynasty, never walked away from the Mariners? This is a story not just about one player, but about an entire city that once believed it could defy the odds. It's 2000. Safeco Field is still new, shining under the Pacific Northwest sky. Griffey is the face of baseball, the homegrown superstar who brought national eyes to a team that used to be invisible. The Mariners are on the rise, powered by Griffey, Edgar Martinez, and a young Alex Rodriguez. But behind the smiles, something's brewing. Front office tension, contract disputes, and a team unsure if it can keep its stars in a market dwarfed by giants like New York and Los Angeles. In our real timeline, Griffey was traded to his hometown Cincinnati Reds that year, breaking millions of hearts across Seattle. But in this alternate world, he stays. Imagine it. February 2000, the press conference that never happens. Instead of announcing his departure, Griffey signs a long-term extension with the Mariners, a gesture of loyalty, of belief. The city erupts. The man who saved baseball in Seattle in 1995, who turned the kingdom into a cathedral, decides his story isn't finished. The 2000 season begins with Griffey still in center field, still flashing that smile after every home run, still reminding everyone that baseball can be magic. The Mariners, instead of retooling around new stars, double down on their core. Griffey, Arod, and Edgar become the league's most dangerous trio. The chemistry clicks. They feed off each other. Speed, power, precision. Seattle doesn't just contend, they dominate. By 2001, the Mariners' alternate timeline explodes into history. In reality, that team won 116 games without Griffey. But with him, they break that record. Griffey's presence keeps Arod from leaving in free agency. The two superstars decide to build something no one thought possible in Seattle, a dynasty that rivals the Yankees of the late 90s. Ichiro Suzuki still arrives, bringing grace and global attention, but now he joins a team already overflowing with icons. The lineup is a dream. Ichiro leading off, Arod in the 3 spot, Griffey hitting cleanup. Opposing pitchers dread coming to Seattle. Safeco becomes a fortress. The Mariners march through the regular season, their mix of star power and fan devotion turning them into the most beloved team in baseball. Then comes October. In real life, Seattle fell to the Yankees, their dynasty too powerful. But here, things are different. Griffey, hungry and healthy, finally faces the Bronx Bombers at full strength. The ghosts of '95, when he sprinted home to beat New York, come alive again. Only this time he doesn't just smile at the end. He conquers them. The Mariners defeat the Yankees in the ALCS, stunning the baseball world. Seattle advances to its first ever World Series. The city that never believed it could stand with the Giants finally does. In this alternate history, Ken Griffey Jr. lifts the Commissioner-esque trophy above his head. The kid who made baseball cool again finally rewarded. That one choice, and to stay, changes everything. The Mariners never become the team that almost was. Instead, they become the team that finally was. Griffey's continued presence reshapes baseball's narrative. The small market revolution starts in Seattle, not Oakland. The Mariners become a model of how homegrown talent and loyalty can build an empire. Attendance soars. Safeco sells out for years. The Northwest turns into baseball's beating heart. Kids grow up pretending to swing like Griffey, to smile like Griffey, to dream like Griffey. The ripple spreads. Free agents start to see Seattle as a destination, not a stopover. The team stays competitive through the mid-2000s, capturing multiple pennants and perhaps even a second championship by 2003. But the change isn't just in the wins, it's in the legacy. In reality, Griffey's years in Cincinnati were filled with injuries and frustration. The magic dimmed, but in this timeline, he remains healthy, protected by Seattle's medical staff and turf that never tests his body to breaking point. He continues racking up milestones, 700 home runs, 3,000 hits, maybe even challenging Barry Bonds for the home run crown. But the difference? His records aren't shadowed by suspicion. Griffey becomes the clean king of baseball, the symbol of pure greatness in a complicated era. The steroid headlines that dominate the early 2000s fade a bit because the game already has its hero, the man who did it right. And think about how that changes the sport's image. Instead of cynicism and scandal, baseball in the 2000s has a face that everyone trusts. Ken Griffey Jr. becomes the bridge between eras, the link between the nostalgia of the 90s and the modern game. Kids who would grow up idolizing players like Mike Trout or Mookie Betts are inspired by Griffey's longevity and integrity. He becomes baseball's ambassador, not just its highlight reel. And Seattle? It's no longer the city of heartbreak. No curse, no drought, no endless waiting. It becomes a baseball capital, a place where dreams didn't just start, but stayed. Even after his eventual retirement, Griffey's loyalty reshapes the league. The Mariners, now a consistent powerhouse, build a culture around him. Mentoring, humility, confidence. He takes a front office role, guiding the next generation. The Mariners' uniforms, once symbols of nostalgia, now carry championship weight. His number 24 doesn't just hang in the rafters, it defines them. Safeco Field becomes the house that Griffey built, not just as a catchphrase, but as living truth. And when we look back from today and from 2025, the question lingers: what would have changed if he never left? But in this what if, the heartbeat never stops. The kid stays home, the smiles last forever. The dream lives on, in Seattle, under the lights, with number 24 still patrolling center field, still leaping at the wall, still saving baseball in the only way he knew how: by being the kid. Because if Ken Griffey Jr. never abandoned Seattle's dreams, maybe baseball never would have either.